Welcome to the Community Hotline for the community, by the community. I'm your host, Bob Fang, and today we got Mr. Jason Tan on.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Bob. Doing good?
tell me, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure thing. Yeah. Um, my name is Jason. I'm actually a community pharmacist. I've been working as a pharmacist for over 6 years now, but I do have experience more over 10 years. And right now, I'm doing a lot of other info sharing on my Instagram. And yeah, so let's check it out.
Okay. Do you have to go to like pharmacy school? How did someone like become a pharmacist?
Yeah, actually, we do. We have to basically study for 4 years, and we need to do a compulsory service to the community before we are considered as a fully registered pharmacist.
What does that mean? Like 4 years? Do you take pharmacology 101 and like what classes do you guys take?
Yeah, we do take a lot of chemistry, pharmacology, mostly pharmacology, organic chemistry, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the 4 years has been quite fun, and you get to do some hospital attachments as well. So it's kind of fun actually because you get to practice and to get to learn more about what medication is about and how being a pharmacist actually helps the community in all sorts of way, which most people don't talk about.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And can you explain what a pharmacist does? So maybe for like a kid who doesn't know
sure.
what a pharmacist is.
I'll be delighted. So basically, a pharmacist's role in the hospital settings or in the community settings is actually to do medication reviews. So what we do is actually to review medications that's been taken by the patient to find out whether there are any unwanted adverse effects or do they, do more harm than good to the patient. And with that, we actually do a lot of what we call drug interaction checking before we let the doctors prescribe them with the medication. So a lot of dosage calculations needed because everyone weighs differently. So basically, you won't know whether they actually take overdose of a certain medication, and that can actually do more harm than good.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Basically, you're the drug dealer.
legal drug dealer to be exact.
Well, the legal drug dealer. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what are three defining moments in your life and how do they impact you?
Oh, that would be. Oh, if you ask me, basically, first time landing a job as a assistant, retail. So basically, what we do is that that time, I think it was the first time that I actually exposed to the what we call the community settings in the pharmacy. So basically, we had to do a lot of what we call that preparations of medication. We also have to do preparation of other like documentations for patients as well, especially like medication labeling and all that kind of stuff. So basically, it was more to that, more on the technical sides, and that was actually quite fun. It made me understand the importance of a pharmacist in both community settings and also the hospital settings. It's quite different because pharmacists, they actually make sure that the medication is actually much more suitable for certain people because there are different types of what we call formulation, where you can see that there are supplements or even medication that comes in different form, like syrup, liquid space, or you have things like the capsule or tablet form. They're all different and they are very very different in terms of their delivery systems and how they work on different types of issues that most people have, because it's very very different. Because some people may have gastric issues, some people may just have indigestion or slower metabolism for the fact. So each medication really plays a different role in that. and it helps them differently. So yeah.
Okay, so getting
Mhm.
your first assistant retail, that was like your first defining moment.
Yep, that
What
was
was
the
your
defining moment.
what was your second and third one
Oh,
in your
second.
entire life? In your entire life, from birth until today.
Well, I think was stepping out of my comfort zone. That would be the second one because
Full
I actually
story.
like I actually like a lot of what we call a. Is I'm actually quite an introvert back then. I don't talk much. I don't socialize much. But there was this one friend of mine. He told me that um, to go to an event. It was an what we call a social event, basically, and that's where I got into like media work, photography, and all that kind of stuff. And it was, I think, the first time that I put myself out there. You know, I talk more. I became more talkative right after that, and so that experience was quite different. And because it really changed how I see things, and now I do talk more often than I used to, and I guess that was my second defining moment, which changed my life entirely. Yeah,
Okay, stepping out of your comfort zone.
yeah.
Okay, and then the third one.
The third one would be, well, I would say love relationship, because communication is just, basically
Can you
it's a hassle. It's a hassle.
elaborate on
because you see, because you see, if we want to basically, um, when you're in a relationship, it's the defining moment there is that you learn to not only love yourself more, but learn to understand your partner, and that's where got me thinking that, you know, communication wise, for someone that was an introvert to actually, you know, communicate and to mingle around is quite difficult because we have our own type of perspective, which we are normally, in a simple word, stubborn. We don't listen.
Can
So
you
that becomes an issue.
can you go more? Do you have like a personal story of like a situation, like a real situation you can tell us?
No, actually, I do though. I do. Um,
So this is like your
I've been.
girlfriend, or like a current girlfriend.
It's my personal experience. Basically, I had three relationships. So, what happens is, I find that communication was a big issue back then for me because I didn't fully understand, or I was not fully aware of a lot of things that, the little details and all that kind of stuff. Because, frankly speaking, what happens is that during that time, I think it was the toughest moment because when you are at the lowest point of your life, that was when I had to struggle through pharmacy school. I had to struggle through family issues as well, and you know, love relationship was just there. The person guide me to become better, a better person. Although I know I wasn't back then, but it got me realizing that being able to accept yourself more is actually something that most people can't do. And for me, it was true because it took quite some time over the years to understand myself better. Back then, I don't even know what I want. Even when I was studying pharmacy, I didn't really understand what was my purpose or what I wanted in life. So basically you're just stuck there, not knowing what you want in life, and you don't know what to do because you're just lost. You don't know what you want. Basically, you just like doing a lot of things, but in that in that things itself, in communication wise, there were no proper way in terms of what happens when you bond with someone in a relationship, because they can bring out the worst of you, they have the best part of you. So communications is something that I felt really important, and it has taught me a lot through my past relationship, and it got better from there on. So that is one of the things that got me open up to more people, and I'm trying to like express myself, like open up through social media and all that kind of stuff.
You're trying, putting in the work.
Yep,
I see
yep,
it. I see it. I see it. Okay, well,
yeah.
I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper in a minute,
Go.
but on to the first topic, which is going to be money. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get into it. So yeah, what is money?
Well, money. Well, basically, back if you talk about money now, it's resource. It's a resource that can help you get things done. All right. Back in the day, I don't even understand what's the worth of money. I don't understand the value of money and how we should really invest in that. So my from my past experience and now, what I can tell you is that money is very important. It is really a resource that you really need to know how to manage. And to do that, do a plan. Do a to-do list, a task, or even a money spending tracker if you can. You can go with that. Limit yourself, manage your money. You get an income, you just manage your money, maybe 20% of it. You save it, right? You don't spend all your money. I do have a friend basically telling you this is a true story. What happens is every month he gets a paycheck and he spends it all. Basically, not a single cent left. So until this one defining day, he got into an accident and he didn't have insurance. It was a disaster, medical bills and all that. So really, we don't know next minute. You don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years. So do plan ahead. Try to save as much money as you can because you never know when you actually need that resource for something important. So yeah.
Okay, okay. And how has like money changed for you since you were in high school to now?
Well, back then I was a food hunter. Basically, I spend my money mostly on food. Technically food. Right now it's a bit different because I use my money as resource to invest in myself, to better develop myself in terms of my knowledge, even maybe skill sets or anything like that. So depending on how you see it in terms, but for me, investing in yourself should be the first thing that anyone should do because that's where you actually grow, and from the growth itself, you will become a more patient and a better person, and you see things from different perspective because our mindsets, basically we are easily affected by people who basically transmit this negativity to us. So it's only up to you to push forward and keep being positive. And to do so, I think learning new sets of skills, investing in yourself is something that you can't miss out. You should do it because you learn a lot of things and you'll be surprised of.
What if someone's trying to become a pharmacist? How much? What's like the salary for like a pharmacist out of pharmacy school?
That depends. In Malaysia, um, I would say roughly 5 to 6K
A
uh,
month?
ringgit Malaysia. So that would be roughly around 2 grand in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly there.
Okay. And they just got to go to school. That's it. Pass, and then learn about pharmacology and pass, and then they get a job. Everyone gets a job. There's no unemployment for pharmacists.
Actually, I think in terms of that, there's a lot to in terms of pharmacy. It's not just only pharmacology or the fact chemistry or anything like that. It's more on understanding how the drugs really work inside the body, and if it's something that's quite fun to actually study. But in pharmacy school, um, they don't really teach much on that. It's just more on theory based, basically. So when you get into the working environment, especially the hospital setting, you're gonna learn a lot more. Where there are many types of medication, they're not suitable to be used, even in terms of theory wise. They are practically safe, but it could be lethal to that person. So there are a lot of what we call lab values that we need to really look into.
Do you have an example
So
of something that would be lethal?
um, let's see. That depends. In the Malaysian settings, what we have is tramadol. Tramadol toxicity is one,
What is
and I
that?
think most is basically opioid.
Is that like a pill?
It's a pill. It's a pill.
Okay. So this pill and
Yeah.
what's the
So
and then what else?
depends. But in Malaysia setting, the leader one would be something like this, or antidepressants. Overdose of antidepressant is also bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it could be lethal because we do have like cases in Malaysia where they took overdose of antidepressant, and yeah, the liver failure is there, internal bleedings and all sort of stuff. But the most common cases in Malaysia that we normally see when people wanted to commit suicide, they'll take like whole lots of paracetamol or acetaminophen, but it doesn't kill. You just need to do a what you call cleansing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So if they suicide, do not overdose on acetomin, right? Because it doesn't kill.
yeah. So it depends, but um, not all drugs, in terms when you overdose, they give bad effects. It really depends.
Good. What happens when you
Yeah,
overdose on vitamin C?
pretty much your body won't be able to absorb that much. So what happens is you're just wasting vitamin C's. It's gonna be excreted out through the urine, man.
My,
But though, to take note on that, it does actually affects some drug absorptions. Like for instance, um, what do you call that? Grape seed. You know, grape seed. I
grapeseed,
think
yeah.
lately there's a lot of grapeseed supplementary that's actually been viral online, all parts of the world basically. And some people take vitamin C and grapeseed together, and overdosing that, plus if they're taking hypertension medication, well, could cause enhance of drug effect, which is not good. So instead of having hypertension, they're gonna get hypotension.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's go on to the next topic, which is going to be love. Tell us, what is love?
What is love? If you ask me, back then I would say get someone, get married at 25 years old, find someone that you truly like or love, and just have kids. That's it. That was back then. But now if you ask me what love is, I think the most important thing is to do something that really matters, do something that you really like, no matter how life throws all those tantrums at you. You just keep coming up, and you just keep fighting for that thing. It can be anything. It can be an interest. It can be something like playing guitar, singing, doing what you love, right? That even time itself is valuable to you, even though you have like basically spend more time doing that something than spending time with like friends. Because frankly speaking, love is not something like what I used to think it was. And to really love something that you do, especially your job, loving your job, loving what you think is right or what you do is right. There's something is there's something basically that defines you pretty much. So
Are
yeah.
you married now, or
Sorry.
are you married now?
No, I'm still single.
How old are you?
I'm 31 this year.
You're 31 this year. Is your mom?
The
Does
other
your
one
mom
is
want you to get married?
um no, pretty much no. They are cool with it.
Do you have siblings?
I do have siblings.
Where are you in the ranking?
Um, I'm the fourth actually.
Are
I
you
have
the
three elder
youngest?
sisters, and I have a younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are your
right in the
sisters
middle.
are your sisters married?
Apparently no, they're not.
So your sisters aren't married. You're not married.
I'm not married, not yet.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to get
Yeah.
married?
Well, I used to think that, but now I'm not quite sure.
Why?
Frankly speaking, I don't have an answer to that.
Well, how did your last relationship end?
mm, it wasn't something that I thought that I wanted because, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, communication is something that I think is very very important for myself and your partner, because if communication becomes an issue, basically it's really hard to maintain the relationship
What was the
and
biggest
things can go sour.
you guys had?
Sorry.
What was the biggest miscommunication you guys had?
I think would be the way we do things. It's like I have my ways of doing things. I have my methods, and the other person just totally don't agree with what I'm doing and is going the other side. It's like you guys are splitting up. Even though you're together, you just split up. Communication doesn't click. No matter what kind of topic that you go into, it's just quarrel. So yeah, bad communications.
Okay. What's your relationship with
Yeah.
your
Sorry, come again.
What's your relationship with your mom like? Do you talk to your mom? Do you talk to your dad?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I do.
What do they like? How are they like? Like growing up.
Well, I think it's the same for any Asian parents. Well, basically quite strict. We have curfews back then. It's like you had to be home by 8 p.m. You know, kind of stuff. It's like you're living in the Cinderella life, but earlier. You know what I mean? Yeah. But one thing about it is that um, it taught me a lot of things, like how to discipline myself, and that got me through most of my high school moments, and it got me through where I am now today. Without them, I won't be here. I won't be doing what I love right now. So uh, I would like to say thank you to my mom and dad. Yeah. So
Did you
appreciate them. Yeah.
did you go to a Chinese school?
When the I was in the primary school.
You went to Chinese school in primary school?
In primary school, yeah. Although my Chinese sucks though. Basically, uh, I'm not good in Chinese.
What is that? What is that
But
like? Are Chinese people like in Malaysia? Are they like shocked that like Chinese people can't speak Chinese? Because I know a lot of like local Chinese who don't speak Chinese.
yeah, there are a lot. I mean, I do have a bunch of friends that uh, in Malaysia we call them bananas because we don't speak Chinese. We just speak English. That's it. So there is a part of the community that look at us differently, especially the older generations. They will think that you're a disgrace to the Chinese culture, my man. It's like you don't even know the roots of your family history. It's like you're ashamed of yourself. You should be that, that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of society that I grew up in, basically. So
Hey,
yeah, it was kind of stressful, but then again, what people think doesn't really matter because you be yourself. But nowadays, I am actually learning some Chinese characters and all that kind of stuff. And I've been speaking a lot more now. So yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we live, we learn, right? We don't stop learning. So that's life.
I love that. I love that. What about your siblings? Do you get along with your siblings? Do you fight with them, or you guys best
So
friends?
yeah. We do talk a lot, and definitely we do fight. We do fight. We have disagreements, maybe in terms of what we're having for dinner today. That kind of stuff. We will argue over what we want to eat, and it's like who's doing the chores next, kind of stuff. So I mean, yeah, it's those kind of like interactions, but meaningful ones. Although it's fun, that sometimes it could be aggressive and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, family is family. It is what it is, right?
It is what it is. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Who were you? Who were you in high school, or who were you? Yeah. Is it called secondary school here?
it's called secondary school. Yeah, high school. So I was nobody basically. I think everybody hated me. I'm not popular. Uh, I used to be in the photography club, and all the teachers and upperclassmen, when they see me, they will say the first thing, "The paparazzi is here, man. Get out of the way, man. Don't do anything to let him take a shot of you. Any candid shot or what kind of stuff. This guy is good at taking candid shot." So that was the kind of stuff that happened. So, so yeah, it was a fun transition, but yeah, pretty much a lot of people don't. I mean, dislike me back then because I'm an introvert. I don't really communicate much. I don't talk to people much. When people talk to me, the response I give was, okay, that's it. And I don't even try to even ask question. And if back then when this is a true story as well. Back then when I saw someone that this girl I like, what happens was instead of looking at her maybe longer by staring or something like that, I pretty much just ran away. Like the moment she showed up in front of me, I just ran. I turned my tail and just go. So yeah, I was a kind of awkward introvert back then. So yeah, pretty much.
So for introvert, that means
Hmm.
like people's energy affects you. Like when you're with big crowds, your energy you feel drained. Like you feel like they drain
Yes,
your energy.
yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. I
And
mean
you,
that.
you tend to not talk. You just keep
Right.
quiet, even if you know. I mean, especially when you're in a crowd, and then when the teachers just call out your name and ask you to answer a question or things like that, or ask you to do role play at school. Yeah, I basically just shrink. I just don't do it, even though I know the answer to it. I just keep quiet, and you know, it's
But you
just
want to do it. But you want to do it if you didn't feel the anxiety, or you still just you don't want to do it regardless.
actually there was an urge to do it, actually to try it, but it's just somehow when you're in front of an audience, you just get scared and you just freeze there. That's it, and that's it. You just don't know what to do next. So yeah, I mean that was back then. So it was like kind of uh, a lot has changed back from now and back then. But I see that the improvement really is a bit different. So yeah, from someone that doesn't really speak much, and I now try to speak more often, it's a bit different because um back then you're just scared of anyone that approach you. I don't speak directly. I basically put my head down. That's it. So yeah, I think self-esteem was the main issue back then.
You're my hero, Jason. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
now, now that I know, how you feel, right? Like
yeah,
how
yeah,
what do you say to the kids who are going through the same thing? Like
yeah.
how do they what advice would you give them? to get through the anxiety and the awkwardness.
Actually, the main thing that I think nowadays, I'm not sure. I mean, nowadays, kids nowadays should be more open than we were back then, I guess, because uh, they tend to express themselves more nowadays with social media. So I think it's a lot better than what we had back then. And back then, when I try to express myself, people just disagree with you. And then when people disagree with you, you just become okay. I just want to shut up. That's it. And then you become the people pleaser. When people don't like certain things, you just say okay, I don't like it, even though you want to do that thing. But yeah, I mean it's different now, I guess. But my piece of advice to the young community would be to embrace yourself and find what actually you are more confident in, build that self-esteem of yours and show people who you really are. It doesn't really matter if the next person that's beside you dislikes what you have to say or dislike what your character is. I think the most important thing is to really show who you are. Yeah,
Show who you
I
are.
didn't get the chance. I didn't get the chance back then. If you were to turn back time, I really would like to try that again.
Okay. How would you? What would be the first three things you would do to show yourself more if you could do it again?
um, I think I would take singing classes.
You would take
That would
singing
be the
class.
first thing. Singing
Okay.
classes. I think that would be the first thing. I didn't did it. I didn't do it. My mom actually encouraged me to do it, but I didn't get to do it because I was too scared to
Yeah,
face the
blame your
audience.
mom. That's right. Blame your mom. It's her fault.
It's not her fault. It's not her fault though. It was a choice given to me because she didn't actually force me to do it. Um, so yeah, if she were to force me, then maybe the outcome would be different today. I don't know. You never know, right?
Never know. Okay, you would take
Yeah.
singing classes. What's the next two?
Next one would be, I would say, um, back then we had this like dancing classes, street dances and all that kind of stuff, back in my hometown. So if I was given a chance, I'd probably like to learn dancing as well because I can't dance.
Okay. Okay.
So it's something I
Singing,
think that
dancing.
express, yeah, I mean these are two things that really let you express yourself more. So I think that would be the two things that I want to do. And for the third one, basically, um, would be to do public speaking. Why so? Because back in the our primary school and secondary school, high school here, uh, we don't really get the chance to say that we want to participate in public speaking, especially in the you know hall or even through competition and stuff like that, because um, mostly the teacher is the one that actually selects the student that go for public speaking. So if you're not selected, you don't get a chance.
Are Malaysians racist and discriminatory against Chinese people?
Actually, no, not really. It really depends on the perspective of the person itself. So not everyone is racist here. People are quite friendly towards each other. It's just that disagreements sometimes make it a hot topic, and you know, views from others' perspective would see it as a cultural or racist issue. But actually, no. Malaysians are quite nice. We share any type of food that we eat.
Okay.
So yeah,
It's just the media. It's just the media.
yes, exactly.
Guys, don't trust the media.
Yep, media
Tell us.
is manipulative.
I love it.
True,
Okay.
true.
True.
Yeah.
No, 100%, 100% true. Okay. So tell us, when you, you know, I guess just first starting to break out of your shell, like I feel like a lot of kids, I see it all the time. Like they're super anxiety filled. Like they're always like on
Yeah.
edge. Like they're
Yes.
just like
Yes.
so on edge. And I'm like, you can chill, kid. Like you're a kid, just relax. And they're just like
Yeah.
so yeah, how would you like help that kid like calm down a little bit more?
I think the first thing uh, I would do is to try to understand uh, the perspective that he or she is coming from, because everyone is from a different family background, so we don't know what's the root cause of how they're behaving. So it's always good to find out how they communicate with each other, with people around them, with family members, what they do. Because if given a chance, when you fully understand the person by asking the right questions sometimes and giving them the trust, they'll actually open up and show you their true self. And I think from there, we can help them become a better person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wise. So wise. Were you always this wise? You mentioned you were not a good person before, and then something happened.
Yeah. A lot has happened. Well, there's a long story, I think, for maybe next time, I guess. But it's a really long story though. But from the past years, the past 10 years, basically, um, you get cheated on, you get like spam, you get a lot of ups and downs in life that actually teach you a lesson or two. So uh, I won't say I'm wise yet, but I'm getting there, and it's always good to really share your perspective with other people, because that way we can actually grow together. Yeah,
Okay. Love
I
it.
mean that's why I think at least.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I feel like I agree with almost everything you said, just from where you're coming from. Just to wrap it up, what are two pieces of life advice you have for the youth?
All right. My first advice: don't be a chicken. Basically, just own yourself and get yourself out there. Show who you really are. Don't be afraid. Right. And the second advice is be patient, because if you don't be patient, you're gonna end up with a lot of regrets. So yeah, that's my two pieces of advice.
Okay. And then if
Yeah.
people want to reach out for some help, where can they find you?
Well, you can go to my Instagram. Uh, in my handle, you want to put it down here somewhere, or
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah. Hold on. It's PH, right?
Yeah, it's ph dot Jason Tan 5, number 5.
Why not number one?
Well, uh, why not number 1? Because I'm not the first person. I'm not always the first, but why 5? Because if you are interested in numerology, uh, I mean, I check my own numerology status, and I'm actually a number 5 person, a person that likes freedom, a person that can adapt to any situation given. So that's the type of person I am. So hence why the 5,
So you're a
because
ninja.
yeah,
Because you're a ninja.
yeah,
Okay.
cool.
All right, man. Cool. Before I forget, actually, guys, if you guys are experiencing, anxiety, you don't have anyone to talk to, you can text home 741-741. That is a national crisis hotline. Other than that, catch you guys next time. See you.
All right.